And now, Anna Does Everything proudly presents 15erella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named 15erella. 15erella had 7 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Fiona, Isabella, Farah, Tina, Eliza, Eloise, and Nina. All 7 of them made 15erella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said 15, Fiona to Nina all together. One day, the king of Quindecuple's messengers arrived and said, Hear ye! Hear ye! The king of Quindecuple is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Quindecuple. But 15erella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. They then argue over who will marry Prince Quindecuple. Later, 15erella is so sad doing chores about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Quindecuple. Suddenly, her fairy godmother asks 15erella what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, 15erella? 15erella responds in whimper, I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Quindecuple, but I have lots of chores to be done. 15erella's fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic. She chants the magic words, Quintadentity, Quintadentity, Quindu, and waves her magic wand. Because of that, 15erella's chores are done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 15erella, go fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, 15erella has 15 pumpkins. 15erella's fairy godmother chants the magic words, Quintadentity, Quintadentity, Quindu, again, and waves her magic wand again to turn the 15 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 30 strong horses, and then 15erella's ripped clothes into a gown and crown. 15erella said, I've never seen such a Quindecuple-tastic gown, and get a load of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? 15erella's fairy godmother said, Well, you can't. But have fun, 15erella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. 15erella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Quindecuple was wondering who he should marry. Fiona to Nina say all together, He's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 15erella. Prince Quindecuple then asks, May I have this dance? 15erella responds, I would be delighted. 15erella and Prince Quindecuple danced happily together. But later, 15erella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Quindecuple was really worried that he might never see 15erella again, so he traveled all around Quindecuple to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the home where 15erella and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 15erella, Prince Quindecuple finds Fiona to Nina. He then said, Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Fiona is first, but her foot is too big. Isabella is next, but her foot is too small. The rest are the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Quindecuple notices Tinderella's sweet singing. The glass slipper fits! Tinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Quindecuple back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew's Doers. And if you want to see some sequels, tell your friends about it. And maybe I can do it. A big tradition. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew's Doers, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents for the 3000th episode of Andrew Does Everything special, 3000 Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Once upon a time, there was a young girl named 3000 Cinderella. 3000 Cinderella had 13 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, Emmy, Tilly, Hannah, Ophelia, Uniqua, Sasha, Alana, Natalia, and Dahlia. All 13 of them made 3000 Cinderella do all the chores. 30,000 a wench. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, Emmy, Tilly, Hannah, Ophelia, Uniqua, Sasha, Alana, Natalia, and Dahlia all together. And then one day, the king of Tri-Millethingham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of Tri-Millethingham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Tri-Millething. But 3000 Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Tasha, the oldest stepsister. Hannah said, No way, Tasha, you're wrong. He's going to marry me. Rena said, Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. The rest said, All three of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, 3000 Cinderella is so sad about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Tri-Millething while doing chores. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and Anne asks 3000 Cinderella what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, 3000 Cinderella? In which 3000 Cinderella responds, I have lots of chores to be done, but I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Tri-Millething. 3000 Cinderella's fairy godmother says, I can help with a bit of magic, and waves her magic wand. Because of that, 3000 Cinderella's chores are all done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 3000 Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, 3000 Cinderella has 3000 pumpkins and 6000 mice. 3000 Cinderella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 3000 pumpkins into a handsome coach, and the 6000 mice into horses, and 3000 Cinderella's red clothes into a gown and crown. 3000 Cinderella says, I've never seen such a Tri-Millething-tastic gown. Get a load of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? And climbs into the coach. 3000 Cinderella's fairy godmother said, Well, you can't. But have fun, 3000 Cinderella. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. And gave her a clock to tell her what time it is. 3000 Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of Tri-Millething said, Good evening, everyone. My son, Prince Trimalupling, was wondering who will marry. Isn't that right, son? Prince Trimalupling responds, Yes, father. Suddenly, Free Cinderella arrived at the ball just in time. Tasha, Hannah, Arena, Ellie, Emmy, Tilly, Hannah, Ophelia, Uniqua, Sasha, Alana, Natalia, and Dahlia say, He's walking towards me! All together, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Prince Trimalupling then asks, May I have this dance? And Cinderella responds, I would be delighted. And Prince Trimalupling and Cinderella danced happily together. But later, Cinderella checks her clock. It's almost midnight! So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost both of her glass slippers. Prince Trimalupling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. The king of Trimaluplingham comforts him by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find Cinderella. And so, Prince Trimalupling and his father began their journey all around Trimaluplingham to find Cinderella and brought the 2 glass slippers with them. By the time they arrived, Prince Trimalupling knocked on the door of the house where Cinderella and her 13 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters there lived. But instead of Cinderella, they find Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, Emmy, Tilda, Hannah, Ophelia, Uniqua, Sasha, Alana, Natalie, and Dahlia. Prince Trimalupling and the king of Trimaluplingham then say, Ladies, we have a favor to ask. Can you try on these glass slippers? Tasha is first, but her feet are too big. Hannah is next, but her feet are too small. Nonsense! It fits! She said. The rest did the same, but none of the feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Trimalupling and the king of Trimaluplingham noticed Cinderella singing. The glass slippers fit! And so, Cinderella, Prince Trimalupling, and the king of Trimaluplingham lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doers, I hope this was a fun story for the 3000th episode of our show, of our channel special. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise at AndrewDoesEverything.com. And then I have one more thing to say. Take care, Andrew's Doers. Bye.